And we are back on the Rodriguez Show, and we have a very special guest returning for the first time in almost a year. Anihuasca, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm great, yeah.
Awesome.
It's good to have you back.
To hear that. Thank you.
Last summer, you did a show with us at, what was it called? Exhibit Gallery in Fullerton.
Yeah.
That was the first show you had done with Noah James.
Yeah.
And, that was our collab. We'll talk about the shows you've done since then, but I just want to do a quick plug. Happiness at Pursuit Festival happening October 5th. You can get your tickets now. You're on the lineup along with so many great people from the IE, from the OC, from all over the place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Animorphosis, the EP, is available on Bandcamp. If you go to @Anihuasca on Instagram, there's a link right there.
Link tree,
to the whole thing. It's only 3 tracks. It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So time has passed. It's been a year. How have you been in a year?
Wow, just a lot has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, even from the point I saw you last, kind of following that, I went through a bit of a dry patch of finding myself, always doing that. But it's definitely been inspiring for everything that I'm doing now, like kind of just that healing work I've been doing the past couple months, and it's been showing up through the music, and I'm doing great. I'm like just shocked at how much has changed.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the self-work in the music, and we'll get into like a deep dive on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there has been a few performances you've done since the last time you were here. One of them was for Under the Sea 2, right, for Noah James?
Yeah, that was in, where was that, Fullerton?
Continental Room?
Yeah,
Yeah, Mondo was actually at that one, I think,
he
as well,
was.
DJing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, so yeah, how's the performing been in the past couple of years? I know there was like a time where you didn't do shows and then you started doing shows again.
Yeah, it's just wild. Like, I only really started performing again, rapping really in front of people for the first time. Like, last year was when I really started rapping at shows.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I always get really nervous, like, still at the beginning, but I know if my heart's, like, pounding is going to be real good.
What I do and what I hear a lot of people that perform music also do is, like, after the first song, like, the chills, like, the nervousness goes away. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I usually just go, just to try to, like, get it all out, because I just feel it all over my body. But it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, and there's been a lot more, like, people in the crowd as the shows have been coming through and just growing in general in the performance realm.
Do you see a lot of, like, repeat people? Like,
sometimes, yeah. I've been seeing a little bit of that more recently since I dropped a trick back in June. It's been a big wave, so I'm really grateful for that.
Nice. Yeah, you could see that building, and you had a lot of supporters before. I mean, a year ago when you were here, but you could just see that growing.
Definitely.
Was there any moment of, like, self-doubt in this past year?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that come? Like, how did you work through it?
Man, I took a step back. I kind of talked myself into, leading a new way of life and, trying to change myself to be quite real for others. And it did plant a lot of self-doubt in me for, am I choosing what I want to do? And am I going to regret these decisions later?
Yeah.
Kind of like, now that you mention it, when I was about to put out Trick, I was really nervous about, like, what some people would think. And Valencia Stacks, shout out to Valencia Stacks, he mixed, mastered, and recorded Trick for me. He was like, Annika, like, God didn't give you bars for no reason. Like, if you don't put this song out, like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Like, that's facts. I need to be able to express, and I can't worry about what other people think about it.
Gotcha. Yeah, you just got to be yourself.
Yeah.
You went to that point where you're like, this is who I am. Like, I'm just going to own who I am.
Trick was like the golden gate back into, like, authenticity is the best way I can explain it.
And you could feel the energy in that track as well.
Yeah.
And shout out to the last song that you talked about, your energy. So let's talk about Trick that came out in June. I also read the description to that. Came from a place of, I would say summarize it, I guess, because there's a lot of description to it. You felt betrayed. You felt isolated in a relationship. Now looking back on that song, when you perform it, do you still feel those feelings, or are you so far removed from it?
I feel empowered.
Good.
I feel empowered. And I'm far removed. Like, it helped me grow because it helped me heal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Every artist is different, but, like, after it was recorded, and mind you, I wrote Trick, like, back in November and went through a rough patch. And, like, that's when I just closed the door on music for a couple months. Like, I just put the song on the shelf, like, forgot about it.
Yeah.
But damn, like, once I had it recorded and I listened, I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know why I didn't put this shit out sooner. So once I put it out and having people come up to me or write me like online and be like, I needed to hear that. Like, I was going through the same thing. Like, I've been a woman like that felt like broken, and like your music lifts me up. Like, that makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
That I can share that. Like, somebody can share and relate with my music. Like, I want to be able to relate with other people and inspire others as they inspire me.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm sure, like, because the situation you wrote about, it was very relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody goes through the exact same thing, but people go to similar situations. So to hear, I'm sure for somebody to hear that, it just feels good to like to be like, oh, I'm acknowledged, and I know that I can get through it because this person did too.
Yeah, and it's just like those little reminders, right? That can be simple but profound. Like, I loved you, but I love me more. So like, I need to make sure I'm doing what's best for my path, and I'm not blocking any blessings that are coming into my life that are gonna elevate me. And that's important.
Was there a sense of like letting go of like things you can't control to get to that point?
That's always in my book of lessons.
Yeah.
It's an important one. So that's something I'm always working with. And when I do that, I can see where my life begins to open up.
Do you feel like, because it's obviously it's not like okay, I'm better now. Like, there's always ups and downs. Like, how do you talk yourself out of like a negative situation or mentality?
Breathing, listening more.
Yeah.
Not jumping the gun. I'm very like, I work a lot from the emotions. I think it comes from a place of just passion that I do put into my music, but I can be very intense. So that's something
So now you're working on, you just released this 3-song project, Animorphosis. How did that come about? How did that idea come about?
Oh man. So it's actually like crazy. I was in the IE at the time. It was probably May, like end of May. And I don't know if you're familiar with Soul Dope 95.
No.
Okay, so Soul Dope 95 actually works. He's an amazing artist, mixer and everything. And he works out of a spot called The Dope Spot in Pomona. And he and I actually linked through Roach Gang, Blacktronica. Shout out to Roach Gang.
Yeah.
We did a song together, and Soul Dope recorded it. After the session, he was like, oh my gosh, like, man, like, write your ass off. Like, let's do a song. Can I send you some beats? And he kind of just picked my brain a little bit about what, like, type of beats and artists I was inspired by and stuff like that. And he originally sent me a couple of beats, and the only one I felt super gravitated to in the folder was what ended up being the beat for Eclipse, the last track. So I wrote to that, and we set up a session, and when I got there, we recorded it, and I was like, let me hear some more beats. And he's playing the beats. I'm smoking. And I'm like, why don't we just fuck around and like just make a little EP, but we make it simple but profound.
Yeah.
Like, put in like, I know people are used to hearing like longer songs, and there's a certain way of doing things. So sometimes I just like to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I was feeling it in that moment, and he just would go through the beats, and I told him to stop, and I'll just start writing, hop in the booth. And that's how it came about.
In one day? One night?
Yeah, I got there at 6:30 and left at 10:45 and recorded the whole EP.
That's great.
And wrote it. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned in the description of it was the idea of like positive affirmations that people can tell themselves.
Yeah.
So that whole time is that what you were thinking too? Like, I'm just gonna
definitely, because those are the things I have to remind myself to do every day. And I'm like, music these days, I know everybody has their own art expression, but I just feel like a lot of mainstream music is very like negative or unrelatable, and it corresponds like with the chemistry of our body, and what we put into it matters. So I felt like something profound, like on Refresh, Repeat, Refresh, Renew, is like, I'm intergalactic, healing from the post-traumatic. I'm healing from the post-traumatic. Like, that's somebody out there.
Exactly.
Or on another plane, like, I just got the chills just saying that right now because it made me feel good. Like, I am healing, motherfucker.
Is there any that you repeat to yourself now? Any positive affirmations, like the ones daily?
So right now, what was my main one? I am a vital part of divine Earth's creation is something I've been repeating to myself the past couple of days.
Nice. Yeah, I have. Well, my wife and I, throughout our apartment, we have like positive things written.
Oh, that's
so then when we
dope.
like see it like in the kitchen or something, like, oh yeah, it reminds you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it gets, your brain absorbs that.
Yeah.
And the more you look at it and see it and tell yourself that, the more you'll believe that or remember it.
Yeah, that's one of the. I was like, because I produce podcasts for people, and there's like a self-help one, and this guy was saying like you have to look yourself in the mirror and like give yourself a high five because nobody else is doing that for you.
I need to do that. Thanks, Caesar.
And I never thought of it that way because I was like, you celebrate you. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves we don't celebrate like the little things that we do, and it's like the way the guy put it was like, are you going to be a bandwagon fan of yourself, or are you going to be there even on your worst days for yourself?
Okay, period.
And I was like, God damn, that really hit me.
Damn. Yeah, for real.
So speaking a little bit more about the project, who is the person on Eclipse?
So that woman,
she's
actually, it was a sample from like an African American like convention.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Dope actually put it in there. I didn't get a chance to ask him her name, but he asked me if that was okay, and I felt like it was so fitting. Yeah. I was like, oh, I totally resonate with this, and like this is the vibe I want. It was just the perfect touch because it never had that originally, but the way we ended up just crafting it together in Soul Dope's mind, it's very broad. So I'm glad that he took that leap.
Yeah, it was cool because it felt like it was like you immediately went right after, like it was like she was leading you into it, and that was such a perfect like.
And she's the outro too. She's the outro.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It felt like a feature even though it wasn't.
Yeah, thank you.
So is there any like? Do you have a favorite out of the three or?
It like varies. It just depends. Right now, I think it's "Think You Better Than Me" because we got to shoot that video. Mm-hmm. For that song, and that was like my first music video that I've been able to shoot since way back, way before I was even on Anihuasca rapping or anything like that. So I've just been trying to push myself more in the creative realm, and luckily I do have like a partner who's like creative that pushes me as well to be like the best artist that I can be, and that's very refreshing.
Yeah, so you guys shot this video together, huh?
Yes, we did.
Where did you
Couple
shoot
goals.
Where did you guys shoot that?
We actually shot it over in the desert, like by the like Antelope Valley area. I actually have been going to school. I went back to school, and I'm studying broadcast and cinematography, something I'm already interested in. I thought this is just a huge favor to myself to just add tools to the toolbox and apply them toward the craft.
Yeah.
So I ended up just writing a treatment, music video treatment, and the song's really short. But it still took a little while to write the treatment. And Bay, well, shout out Don Bombay if you want to follow my man on the gram. He's awesome. He was like, maybe you should, use the boombox because the area that we're at, like, just a lot of like great resources and like vintage and nostalgic cool shit.
Yeah.
And it was his idea to like have the boombox, and then it ended up being like the continuum in the story. But, basically just like the vibe was me in the middle of the desert, like just kind of like holding my own, like just jamming to my music. Like, I guess I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm out here, I'm free.
Yeah. No, it is a cool visual.
Yeah.
Like it definitely gets people's attention to the song.
We shot that in like, I don't know how long? Like 3 hours. Yeah, but it was totally fun. We had a blast, and then we posted it the next day, and it already hit like 3,400 views on Instagram. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It all seems like everything that has been happening lately has just come very organically.
Yes.
Is it just you attracting that energy, do you think?
You know what? I think it's like the last few months before I got back into the music were like, everything was fine, but it was stagnant. Mm-hmm. But I want to like just put emphasis on the fact that when I am creating and I'm just letting it happen, everything comes like a tidal wave. Mm-hmm. And I just like I can't like not do this.
Yeah,
life just doesn't add up for me. I can't
I feel that too. I mean,
music.
doing this show for 9 years, I'm like, well, I can't stop. You know, like,
You're like, this is my personality now.
It's hard too, though, to separate yourself from what you do.
It is.
Do you find that sometimes?
Yeah, I do for sure. It's hard.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention about You Think You're Better Than Me, because last time you said that you do write your lyrics sometimes towards people and they know who they are, but like, you know, like, so when you say act like you got
conversation,
yes,
okay,
act like you got it with your college degree, was that meant? It doesn't have to be towards somebody.
No, wait, no, actually, it's funny when he played the beat. I honestly am just very, like, one of my favorite albums and artists ever is Amy Winehouse, and I was like, you know what, like, I just wanted to throw everybody through a loophole because everybody was just expecting me to rap on every track.
Yeah,
I was like, boom, like Frank-inspired Amy Winehouse song. Like, that's the stuff I grew up doing covers of and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just wanted to write something with that Frank vibe. Yeah. And so I just went into this place and like channeled this like, you think you got it with your college degree? You ain't shit. It was just fun. Yeah, just thought it was funny.
That's still relatable because there's some people that think that's all they got. Like they got it just because of that.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So last time we talked about your journey to like, you know, find representation, and are you still doing that, or you want to continue on the independent route?
Well, the independent route is dope. I mean, the thing about it is there's always this want for like the representation and, you know, having the bigger things happen. But I'm like, look, I just love the independent life so much. However, I am learning more and teaching myself and pushing to utilize the resources that are out there more. Yeah. Even as an independent artist. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be advertising our talents and what we can do creatively with how mass the internet is these days. Like, anything I wasn't doing last year, I was just choosing to be lazy. Yeah,
yeah. Because, I mean, it is a lot of, like, hats to wear if you're that person.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Because even now, I'm so passionate about what I do, but there's still things that I'm like, I know I should be doing this too to push it, to keep pushing it. But if you really believe in it, that stuff comes as well, you know, for sure. with the work, you know.
Definitely.
So where do you hope to go now in this point that you're at with your music?
And I just am looking forward to seeing it grow. I'm trying to be like more in the moment now versus, because I get really excited about things I'm super excited about. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got what? But I want to be more just chill and, you know, open to growing and challenging myself to not just be like a better artist, but to be better with business and, you know, just move in a way that's going to bring me longevity. Yeah. Not just with what I'm doing, but with other people that I respect in this music industry and the people I haven't met yet too. Nice. You know, I feel really fortunate. Shout out to Mex, our brother too, from the Visionaries. He's in the hospital right now, but I've had the pleasure. My man produces beats, and I did a song with Mex recently.
Nice, that's awesome.
So that's pretty cool, and that's just opened up like a lot of just even more big love for the hip hop community. There's just so many good, talented, awesome people, man.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like there's always new stuff to find, like new people coming up with music. Yeah. What's the last thing you listened to, or your book you read, or movie you saw that inspired you?
The last thing that I listened, you know what? We've been listening to like a lot of Afrocentric music recently. That's been really good. Movies. Oh my gosh, I already told this man I was gonna freeze up. I'm like, last time he asked me a question, I don't even like that character.
The Tom from Tom and Jerry?
Nah, it's Pink Panther. I just want to confirm my favorite cartoon character is Pink Panther.
That's funny.
Okay? Anyways. But we've been listening to like a lot of Afrocentric, and we're working on an album right now, him and I, so I'm definitely going down that like spiritual realm still, and you know, just like that real good hip hop feel.
Nice.
Yeah.
This just came out, so I'm not going to be like, when's the next one come in? But like, do you plan on releasing more this year? Or?
Yeah. No, definitely. I actually, so not just a song with two. We don't have a date for that yet. We just want him to get better first. That's like the main thing.
Definitely.
But I do have a future coming out on Curtis King's new album, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Nice. Shout out to Curtis King.
That's all I have for now. Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
Well, all right. This is great. Thank you for being here. I want to get into playing the whole Animorphosis project right now.
Okay.
So if you want to introduce it anyway, they'll be able to hear it on the radio right now. So
okay, sure. This is the Rodrigo Show. We're about to get into Animorphosis. You can stream it on any digital platform or buy it on Bandcamp for $333. You can hit that.
Nice. Thank you so much. And they can follow you at Anihuasca, Anihuasca on Instagram. And if you're watching on the video, you can see it on screen. We're going to get into this project and we'll be back with more on The Rodriguez Show.